On IMO, we have a question from one of our listeners. And so this is a perfect time to pivot to that.
Okay.
And our question today is from Lily who lives in Virginia.
Hey, Lily.
Lily.
Hi, Michelle and Craig. I'm in my late 20s and have been doing something I absolutely love since I had my first job at age 16, teaching dance. I have taught dance every year since and still love it just as much. I did all my undergrad projects on dance, and after COVID, I earned my master's in dance education. I'm now at my first full-time job at a nonprofit doing what I love every day, creating curricula and teaching dance. I've been here for just over 2 years. As much as I love this work, I'm also extremely stressed out and anxious. My job has begun to take such a mental and emotional toll on me that I dread meeting new people because I know the question, "What do you do?" will come up. For some reason, I now hate telling people about my work because it stresses me out all over again. When I'm not there, I try my hardest not to think about it. I have an amazing therapist that I've been working on this with for quite a while, but I'm still confused about why I dread talking about the job I've always felt so passionately for. How normal is this? Does this just mean that I'm burnt out? Or is this a sign that this work is no longer for me? Have you ever felt this worn out by your work? And if so, how did you manage to keep going? Thank you.
Now, we have not had a question so perfect for our guest than this one.
Yes,
True.
I understand it completely, Lily. I would say I feel like there's a couple layers to this question.
Okay.
One is the anticipation of the question, what do you do? And the answer being a description of your job versus the purpose of your job. So if the question comes, I would maybe reframe the answer as I help people manifest their true destiny. I help people perfect their dream and their craft. I help people get better. Instead of saying, I am a dance teacher, like that title, just maybe reframing that. And then the other layer, I think, to the question is two things can be true at once. You can love what you do, but it can also be really hard and draining. You can love the person you're with, but they can also get on your nerves.
Yeah.
So it's okay to change what you do if that's what you feel like you should do, and take some space away from it. I think if saying you're a dance teacher doesn't feel good right now, and it's been since you're 16, that's okay to try something else, because your 16-year-old dream, you've been through so many versions of yourself since then. So it's okay not to have the exact same vision for yourself. And maybe then dance teaching can become something you do as an extracurricular activity versus your sole job or sole income. So it's possible to have a bit of a plot twist. And then if it's something that you miss, you may return. Life can take you through so many twists and turns and different journeys. And maybe sometimes it could be your gut telling you, hey, let's try something else for a little bit. And that's completely okay. Your job doesn't have to be your identity forever. I relate to it as a songwriter as well, because when I started, I was an artist moving to LA, and then I got a lot of success from songwriting. So everybody who met me was like, oh, the songwriter. And it wasn't until I did something else more than I did the other thing that they recognized me as that. Oh, the artist. It's like any job. If you meet somebody and they say, oh yeah, I'm, for example, a janitor, they're going to realize that that's what you are. But then until you become a teacher and your teaching outweighs the time that you spend as a janitor, then they will identify you as a teacher. So it just becomes what you spend most of your time doing. And that can always change. You don't have to remain the same person that you introduce yourself as to anybody.
Now,
So.
Victoria, did you ever, you were so focused on becoming an artist or a performer or whatever, however you want to label it.
Yes.
Were you ever embarrassed to say that's what you were or that's who you wanted to be?
I wouldn't say embarrassed, but more so, what is the word? it felt like an ambitious statement. Like inside, people may be like, yeah, okay.
Oh,
You
so
know,
you,
I
you
wanna
didn't want
be-
to sound like you were bragging.
It's like my husband, I want to be president of the United States. It's like, no, you might want to keep that to yourself, honey.
Yeah.
No, that's so nice. You want to be president.
Exactly. It's that. Or like when someone's like, I want to play basketball and I'm going to be the best basketball player ever. And you're like, okay.
I'm going to play in the NBA. You're surrounded by.
I am surrounded by people who do that. But I will say to Lily's point, I'm so old, there was not the internet. So I didn't grow up wanting to be an NBA player. It sort of just developed. But even as I was heading in that direction, I never wanted to tell people I was a basketball player. So I understand.
And why was that?
Because I didn't want to be pigeonholed in, he's just a basketball player.
Okay.
Now, I don't know how many people have that feeling now, because basketball players are making more money than most people.
Yeah.
But at the time, I really felt self-conscious about basketball playing being my job.
Did you feel like it was because the stigma around basketball players were that they weren't something else, like maybe not educated or not?
That is exactly it. That is exactly it. And I had relatives in my family who thought that basketball playing was a waste of time too. So they were like,
why'd you point to me when you said that?
Because you're the only relative in the room. That's why she got nervous. She probably was thinking the same thing. No, but I had relatives and who would be like, well, is that all you do?
Oh.
And so I really, Dandy used to say that. Our paternal grandfather would never talk to me about sports.
Oh, wow.
Because he thought that the only thing he had to talk to us about was education and learning, and as a young Black man. And I saw him do this to my uncles. Like, he didn't meet them where they were. He wanted them to rise up to what his expectation of them was.
Yeah.
And I'm sure my parents didn't do that, but I felt that in society. So that it wasn't until I got drafted, literally drafted, that I said, all right, I'm a basketball player, right? Like this was a real thing now.
Validated by that.
So I was wondering if you ever had that in the music business.
I feel like, it was is a feeling of people projecting their own doubts onto you when you say something so grand. Because I do feel like some of your biggest dreams should sound a bit scary. And then you manifest those things regardless, which I think a lot of us have. Maybe even Lily would have, I'm going to be this amazing dance teacher. And people may have been like, okay, yeah, like that's kind of a creative job. Like maybe, schooling is, you should pick a different major, something, so.
Yeah, they're picturing ahead how much money you could potentially make.
That's true. Yeah.
Too. And it's like...
and people, a lot of traditional families, regular families who aren't in the arts or doing something that's considered non-traditional, and the arts still is considered a non-traditional way of life.
Right.
People don't understand the profession. They don't know that it is a profession.
Yeah.
Right? They don't know how you can, you just laid out a whole sub-industry within the music business that, like you said, you wanted to write, but there are other jobs in the music profession producing, and you'll name them because I don't know them.
Working in the control room,
and,
all that stuff.
Nobody knows that. People know doctor, lawyer. Now you can be a day trader, or I mean, some of the career titles are growing in people's minds. But the average mom and dad, the minute somebody says they want to go into theater or the arts, or they want to be in music, the light goes off in the eye of the parent, right?
Yeah.
And I wonder if Lily has experienced some of that, because she's in a community or in a family of people where it's like a dancer. Like, what's that?
Right.
I don't understand that. So I don't even know. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
And if she's experienced any of that, I imagine how hard it must be for her to summon up the energy to continue something when it gets hard.
Right.
Right. It's like, it's easy to quit on yourself when you naturally get burnt out.
Yeah.
You know, if it's not something that everybody around you is saying, I get it. I get you being a doctor.
Yeah.
I understand the long hours. Boy, we're rooting for you. Right. But you're in the arts. You're dancing. You're acting. You're making music. I don't understand it.
Yeah. It just seems like, and naturally so, parents or people around would just want to hear something that has a guarantee.
Yes.
Yeah.
And with art, or even sports, it's like, well, you need a backup plan. It's always a plan B situation because you could get injured. It's like all the projections of the worst case scenario. But I would love for us to obsess over the best case scenario. Like, what if you are the best NBA player? And what if you are the best dance teacher that ever lived and you're able to provide scholarships and change people's lives with what they want to do and make healthier bodies by what you're doing because you're encouraging exercise through something that's more fun than running on the treadmill potentially. It's dance and performance. So it's tough because I think we're just all being protective of each other and creating those shields. And sometimes those come in the form of limited beliefs and ideas of what you could do.